Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
I'm Jenifer Rose.
And this is the midweek version of the Fiber Talk podcast that we do twice a week for those people who do the needlework. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Love the needlework.
Tonight, Kathy Ray, Thread Talk on the Fiber Talk Stitch Hour, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the YouTube channel. And always fun and interesting and educational with Kathy. And if you've missed any of the previous ones, go to the live video section of the YouTube channel, and you can see them all there. Really educational stuff. Kathy knows her way around threads, no doubt about it. So
yeah, they're really good to watch. I like them.
Yep.
You always learn something that you totally didn't know. You think you know something about threads, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, my wheels are spinning every time we talk to her. Every time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So join us tonight, 8 o'clock, Kathy Ray, Needle in a Haystack, and of course, support Needle in a Haystack. Kathy's kind enough to do these shows for us. So we appreciate if you support her. Let her know you heard about her on Fiber Talk.
Yeah.
Sunday from Tasmania, Merrilyn, Heazlewood, County Canvas work, and a whole bunch of other things. So that'll be fun.
Wow.
Plus, Tasmania. Why not?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I would go there.
I might have to look at the thing and remind myself of exactly. Australia somewhere, right?
Yeah, off the coast of Australia, yep.
Right. It's an island.
It is, yes.
Jeez.
I would, yeah, I'm not overseas traveler type person, but Ireland. Well, Ireland, but I used to say no thanks to England until doing these shows and following cyclists. No thanks to London. I would go to to England. I would go to Scotland. I would go to Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scotland and the castles, and I follow like the hashtag Scottish Moors.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
My gosh! And you see so much beautiful photography because I just like the views. I think it's too cold for me there, but the views are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would do that. Yeah, I would fly to Heathrow and get out of there and head north because that's well, I understand south is beautiful too, but I got to get to Ireland and Scotland and all those parts. Yep. And then the other place I would go is Australia, but Australia would have to be for a month, I think.
Yeah. Just to make the flight worth it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get adjusted, but Australia, but then New Zealand and Tasmania. Yeah, I think you got to see that stuff. Yeah.
While you're down there.
Yeah. Well, there's a young lady I follow who is a cyclist, mountain bike cyclist, who lives in Tasmania, and she's one of those. I think if she's 5 foot, she's lucky. Probably weighs about 60 pounds. One of those.
Yeah.
And she goes off into the wilderness for days on her mountain bike.
Wow.
And then it posts on Instagram photos. The scenery, the country is just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah.
And
then you can go see all the needlework people down there.
Yeah, that's just it. Yeah, that's why you need a month.
Ride your bike to the different needlework places. There you have both of your loves.
Yep. All at once. But yeah, it's got to be a month there to cover all the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I figure it's probably 3 days before you even start to get your body clock organized again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I lived overseas and
yeah, you know about that.
The jet lag. It's like, oh, goodness. That was only 6 hour difference.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, 15, I think?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even, yeah. Yeah, I think it's 15,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, Merrilyn will join us on Sunday, so that'll be fun. We'll learn things.
Yeah.
And then remind you that registration is open now for the EGA 2022 National Seminar called Broadway Bound. Broadway Bound. That's August 24 to 28. It's at the New York Marriott Marquis Hotel in New York. Been to that hotel. It's right there in Times Square, right in the middle of everything. So you'll be at the hotel. So theater is close by. All the New York things are close by when you're at that hotel, and it's a huge, huge hotel. So registration open, and of course all kinds of classes that you can sign up for, and they're all on the EGAUSA.org site. You can get all the information. And then if you hunt down the seminar videos that Beth and I did when it was in Chicago last year, we did one where we toured you through all of the classes and showed the models for each of the classes for this next year.
That's right. I remember that.
So there's another one to watch. But, yep, registration is open, so get yourself signed up to attend Broadway Bound August 24 to 28, the EGA National Seminar. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Kathy Ray tonight, and then next Wednesday, yep, Jenifer's mom.
Is that next Wednesday?
27th,
oh,
yep.
Wow. It's coming up so fast.
Yep. Jenifer's mom live from Colorado next Wednesday.
Right. I'll be in Colorado Springs, so hanging with the mom and the dad.
Getting your mom fired up to do the show. So we're gonna get some picture, whatever pictures you have or can put together of her work.
Right.
And then we get to talk to your mom about needlework and whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Needlework. Jenifer is a child.
I was just a shy child, if you
Mm-hmm.
can believe it.
You talk about it. We'll learn from your mom. We'll get the facts from your mom. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah. She knows I was shy. That's why she put me in ballet and stuff like that.
Oh.
So that I could get over it.
Break you out of your shell, huh?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked.
All right. See, moms know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we get to talk to Jenifer's mom live next a week from Wednesday, or a week from tonight. Yep, week the 27th.
Right.
So yeah, mark that down to join us for that. Yeah, we'll have fun learning all kinds of things, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's sewn since she was junior high at least, maybe even younger. So
she knows.
Yes.
It's clearly in the family genes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure.
Yep. All right, so that's all that's coming up. Now, there's more coming up. May 29 now is our 500th show. That's a live Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock Eastern Time show with, well, there are loose plans all over the place. We'll get them all coalesced by then. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'll be back in town. So.
Yes. So Jenifer and Cindy and Beth and Jessica Grimm is going to join us from Bavaria, and
nice.
Sharon from Ireland. Sharon Bruce. Thank you.
Yes.
Jeez, you'd think I could remember Sharon Bruce's name. Sharon Bruce from Ireland's going to join us.
Nice.
Yeah, the cross-stitching machine from Ireland.
Oh my gosh, she finishes so much stuff.
Isn't she?
Like,
stop it.
Gosh. And it's all gorgeous. And then the finishes she does are amazing.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
and I think she does her own finishing too. I don't think she hires it out. I think she does it. Now, we'll find out for sure if I'm right, but I think she does it. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't.
I think she does.
I get the impression that she does it because I think she would credit someone if they did it for her.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, I think she does. And then then she doesn't just send you a picture or post a picture. Then the picture is all staged.
Oh yeah, it's a total setup. It's all pretty.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at how lovely.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know.
Yep. So the cross stitch machine from Ireland is going to join us for the event. So
awesome.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, she is they just come out of there like a factory. And,
I know.
All finished, all staged, all beautifully done. It's yeah. And here
it's
we
like
sit.
Every week there's a new one.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I stitch a lot lately. It's not been as much. I've had stuff happening in my life where, like, my cat passed away and stuff, so I didn't do anything for a week.
Yeah.
But man, I stitch a lot, but she puts me to shame.
Yep, can't keep up with that one. Mm-mm.
I know.
Nope. So and other things coming up. Other things for the show. Probably won't be just an hour. Probably go a little longer. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Sunday thing?
Yeah.
It can't be just an hour. Are you kidding me?
I think we have to go
It's going to be like an afternoon event.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I'm setting aside the whole day. I don't know what your plans are, but
All right, Jennifer's locked us in for the afternoon. All right, that's
good.
That's going to
an
be
hour.
It. Okay.
Can't get all that done in an hour.
Well, no. Yeah, Jessica Grimm has offered to put together some medieval goldwork presentation for us, so that'll be fun.
Oh, cool. See, each guest needs an hour.
Oh, is that how it works?
Well, yeah, that's how we've done it in the past, right?
We're up to 3 hours already then. Oops.
There you go.
Yep. So, so that'll be fun. So mark that down. Big live event, 500 shows that will be the 500th show too.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Of the Fiber Talk. That's a lot of shows.
Yeah, and I remember you guys talked about a lady that said that she was going back and watching and listening to them all from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I did that when I first found you about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I went back and just some days it's all I did all day was just listen to Fiber Talk back to back. I was hooked. I was like in it. It's like, this is so good.
Yeah, you think back, 500 show. Well, we're at 480 or whatever it is now, 485. But that's a lot of hours of talk. That'll be 500 hours of needlework talk, and that's just the 2 podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then there've been all the live shows, and that's getting to be a number. And then extra stuff we did, particularly early in the pandemic. It's.
Oh my gosh, that was 3 days a week.
Yeah.
That was a lifeline. I'm telling you, that was such a lifeline for me.
There's a lot of needlework talk. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Think about how shows on TV celebrate 100 episodes. Like you passed that ages ago.
Yeah. What's that?
Like, what's 100?
Just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking forward to that. That'll be fun. That's quite a milestone.
Yeah, no kidding.
Quite a milestone. Yep. So that's the 29th of May, Sunday the 29th. Now projected to be an entire afternoon.
I blocked off the whole day in my calendar. It's just like
it's a festival. Okay, it's a festival. Jeez, we better get some stuff planned if we're going to go all day. Holy smokes. Yep. So when we did the show with Kim Young a couple weeks ago,
right?
And we'd been talking about, we'd had discussions about being able to go into stores and go online and print out a chart and then kit it up at a store. Yeah, and it was really cool that Kim was already doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she had already kind of been thinking about that. And then you brought it up, and it's like you guys are on the same wavelength. Yeah. Well, you've both been doing 5 years. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But we just made that up. That was kind of wouldn't it be cool to be able to do that? And then Kim is actually planning to do it.
Right.
And so it was interesting to me that, number one, I think it's a great idea and a really a great way to bring in all the online opportunities to a shop and then be able to help people kit them up. And so, bravo for that. But it got me thinking, because, and it was, I've had a couple of emails, stuff I've said, rubbed one lady the wrong way, but anyway, about supporting your local needlework store.
Mm-hmm.
And, one lady wrote to me and asked, well, do you ever order things from Amazon? And, yeah, I do. I order things online just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just really firmly believe that if you can, in any way, you support your local needlework shops. I do the same thing with bike shops. I could buy everything for bike stuff online, including the bikes. But I support those shops as much as I can. Even things like even things like chain lube. I went in to the shop near me the other day. I needed chain lube, and I could have ordered that from Amazon and had it the next day. No problem. But and they don't carry my line. But I went in there and I said, hey, can you get this? Yes, we can. It'll be a week. And I said, fine. Don't need it till then anyway. And I just try to support. But these days, there's a practicality.
Well, not everybody has. Well, I've never. Okay, so I have this little needleworks now up in Glaston, Weathersfield, but I didn't grow up around a local needlework store. I didn't know they existed until I started listening to these shows and podcasts and stuff. And then I was like, oh, there were cross stitch stores? I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like even back in the 80s when they were big and back when I was stitching, I had no idea there were such things.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, back in the 80s, holy smokes. It was
and
McDonald's cross-stitch store, McDonald's, Burger King cross-stitch store. Yeah.
So I know my mom stitched back then, but if she ever went to one of those stores, she never took us.
Oh.
And I just really don't think she did, because she usually took at least me everywhere because I was so much older than my sister and brother. So I don't think we had one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and we're, and then they kind of went away like overnight, and I wouldn't say overnight, but they faded away. But now we have so much activity and there's so much online stuff. But then we've had just a couple of stores close here just recently down in the Southeast.
Right.
And you don't have anybody nearby.
Well, did they retire, or did they go out of business because nobody was shopping?
Fire Poppies is one of them.
Right.
She's got an opportunity there to retire and not have to work. She and her husband both, so they're taking it.
Right. And then, do you know if somebody's buying her business, or she? Well, no, you guys said she just liquidated.
Yeah, she just liquidated.
Okay.
Like in 48 hours. Everybody bought her out. So
right.
She's good. And then another shop, I forget the name of it, down in South Carolina, I think, is closing. But yeah, it's a lot of people are in needlework shop deserts. I mean, Beth, it's a 2+ hour drive one way for Beth.
Right.
I'm sure that this is not just a quick run down the street for you.
Yeah, it's a half hour, 45 minutes, depending on the traffic.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Where you live, traffic becomes a factor in a hurry.
Right. And then plus they're carrying less cross stitch. They're mainly needlepoint, especially painted canvases. They have tons of painted canvases, and they have a ton of threads. So if you want specialty threads, they've got threads.
Yeah. Well, see, that's for me. I mean, I live 20 miles from St. Louis in the suburbs, and within 10 minutes of me are two superb painted canvas shops.
Mm-hmm.
But they're strictly painted canvas, and they have like you, they have all the threads.
Right.
But for cross stitch, no help at all, and or any of the other techniques, there's just no help at all, and even to the point where I went in to buy just a yard of needlepoint canvas, and I wanted to get a yard of white and a yard of ecru or cream or off white, whatever. They would have had to order that. Really? They had the white.
Oh, because they did.
They're painted canvas. They don't have it. They don't do any counted cross stitch, or counted canvas work.
Right.
So they have canvas, but they just don't have a need.
Right.
And so effectively, I'm in kind of a pseudo desert.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go get a needle, or I can go get some specialty threads, but I don't have it. There's no cross stitch store. There's no multiple technique store anywhere near. And
right.
But then in talking to Kim, you think, all right, all three of us are pretty much faced with online, unless we want to spend some time in a car.
Right.
And so then the question came to me, all right, if you are dealing with an online shop, can you develop the same kind of relationship with an online shop that you would if you were able to go in, say, once a week?
Right. Well, it depends on the shop, because doesn't Kathy Ray, she does online, but she has a physical store, but she'll get on the phone and talk to you, and you can send pictures, so you can do it virtually, what you would do in the store.
Yeah.
So she does that. Now, other ones, if they choose to do that, that's their choice. It just depends, I guess.
Yeah. Seems to me you can. I mean, it's never going to be ideal.
Right, because I don't think, are there any, because even 123 Stitch has a physical location.
Right.
They moved to Texas. They're in Texas now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just over, I think over the holiday time sometime last fall, winter.
Holy smokes, that's a big
They're
deal.
down in Texas now. Mm-hmm.
No. I think I've only done business with them once, yeah.
Okay. I've ordered from them a few times.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
That's big business to move. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So, yeah, so can you do that? Yeah, I think you can. I mean, it's easy to find a number of people who have contacted Kathy Ray, and she's sorted out threads for them and, sent them off packages. She's done it for me. I know she's done it for Beth, probably done it for you, coming up. Well, it's like the kits for Spring Hill.
Right.
She put those all together, and then you can do the same thing with Kim.
Yeah.
She'll work with you. She'll help you out. I know that Jean Lee will at the Attic. She'll work with you.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I think pretty much everyone will. You have to find one that you like how they do over the phone.
Yeah.
You might have to try a few till you vibe together,
Right. Yeah. Because all right. So say for instance, you kit up, have somebody kit something up, and you even talk to them on the phone. There might be a thread or two that you want to change after the fact, but I don't know that that's all that different from a live store.
Right, except for that you can see it.
Yeah.
But sometimes even though after you get stitching, threads change color when they get next to each other and start intermingling, and you might be like, oh, it looked good sitting in the skein next to the other ones, but then when you get it in the stitches, it did stuff you didn't expect, so you need to change it out.
Right. Yeah, that's that give and take. So you can do that. So then it really comes down to, I can't run down to the store this afternoon and get that skein. It'll take 3 or 4 days, but hey, we all have other stuff to stitch.
Exactly. It's not like there's nothing else, unless you're that rare person these days that does one project at a time, which I know they're still out there.
Yes, they are, but
I'm not one of them anymore. I used to be.
They're dwindling in number, yes.
They are dwindling in number.
Yeah. So I think you can. I think, I was just kind of thinking through the process. Can you do that? And I think you can. I mean, if people have a shop and they have people coming in and out, then obviously the people come into the store, they got to take care of right away. So I think you have to be sensitive to that. Call it call in the middle of the afternoon or not
or
right
ask them what's the best time.
Yeah. Set up an appointment.
Yeah.
Don't call when they open the doors.
Right.
Don't call 15 minutes before closing.
A time that you might think is really good might be like their busiest time.
Right,
They'll be like, it's better if you call it this time. I mean, just ask.
Right.
And you might have to call back or whatever, or maybe they can call you back or.
Yeah. No, I think you can, because I'll look at my local, like bike shops these days. Mm-hmm. Bike shops, what are the questions if you need bike repair? One of the question is, how far out are you on your repair schedule? Right. And these days, at least around here, it's a week and a half to 2 weeks before they can get you your bike. That's how long the backlog is. And it's mainly because they can't get parts.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, for instance, this week, my bike needs to have some work that I can't do. Well, I went in 2 weeks ago, and I said, how far out are you? He says, we're about 10 days out. And then we figured out what we needed, and he says, I got to order those parts. And he says they got to order them, come to the local warehouse distributor, and then to us. So he says it's going to be a week and a half before I'll even have the parts. So so we set up an appointment. It wasn't leave your bike there all that time, because my bike's quite rideable. But set up an appointment, and then he said call the day before to make sure the parts came in. And so now that's this week. So today, Wednesday, I will call to see if the parts are in. And then I take it in Thursday and they repair it, and I'm pretty sure I pick it up Friday. And so it's a pretty good, and he called me once. It was supposed to be last week, but he called me once. He says the parts aren't going to make it. So, keep writing because,
right.
So I think that, that's just an example. So kind of a long example, but an example of, what I think stores who provide what needlework stores provide, you start to put in place systems like that. All right. Wednesdays are usually pretty slow. So how about if you call at 2:00 and then we can go through this.
Right.
And set it up that way. And then they can set aside the time and maybe have materials out already.
Right.
Yeah.
You could do some pre-work, send me a picture, give me an idea, and that way they can kind of prep, and then they have time to fully give their attention to you so that they're not feeling rushed. You're not feeling like you're being semi-ignored or rushed through it,
Right.
It becomes a better experience.
Yeah.
But I just think it's, each store, I'm sure every store will provide some level of that because they want business, right?
You would think so, yeah. No, I just think there's some real opportunity there to serve a wider, broader client base, and to the point where I could even see most places now can do online things. I could even see having a table set up for that kind of thing and a camera.
Right. Yeah.
And we
with
do a
lighting
Zoom
and everything.
Right. We do a Zoom session. And
exactly, or a FaceTime, or whatever.
So think about that. The store that's 2 hours away that is an all-day trip for you. You call in and you watch on camera, and all right, how about this blue? How about that red? Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. All stores out there, I hope you're listening. We're giving you good ideas.
But and of course it comes down to a manpower thing and a time thing, and
right.
But
like you said, maybe you set aside a day for this kind of stuff, or a certain time. It's like we're totally dead during this time, so
right.
Give an employee something to do.
Yeah. Now, see, that's a good point too. We're totally dead during this time, so why don't we schedule some people who aren't in the store and make some money during that time that we normally wouldn't make? So
right.
Yeah. No, I think there's just creativity. It's like everything else. You start thinking through what can we do that's different, what can we offer that's different. But that would be quite a service to offer.
Yeah.
Online 15-minute Zoom sessions, and you could even charge a nominal fee. I got to charge you $5 for the time, or $10, whatever it is. But for that time, you have my complete attention, and we'll sort this out. And I don't know.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Of course, you and I don't run a shop. The shop owners are probably you've got to be kidding me.
They probably have their own spin on this, that they're like, well, that's a great idea, but we have this and this.
Right.
That's where Kim or Kathy could chime in and give us their opinion on this topic.
Yeah.
And see what they have to say, because this is just us as consumers, but
right.
They're the providers of the service. They have to tell us what they think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wednesday's my downtime, but that's the time I actually order all the stuff I need to order. Yeah.
Maybe they've got stuff going on during that time that we have no idea.
Yeah. They probably do.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But it just seems to me that as we evolve this thing, and I firmly believe that the needlework activity, as the pandemic slowly goes away, and we all hope it does. It seems to be better these days, but though I just read a article the other day about how grossly underreporting we are, underreporting the infections is because of home tests. So who knows what's going on? I don't know.
I think what's important is that people are ending up in the hospital dying like flies.
Right. Yeah, that's, exactly.
That's what we were trying to avoid, the mass, just people dying in the on the floors in the hospital, people dying in the streets, people dying at home. That's what we were trying to and it seems the virus has modified itself to the point where it's not killing us anymore.
Right.
Because it wants to live too.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think, that's the point right there. We're not in hospitals dying, so if we get sick for a couple of days, at least that's manageable.
If you're even symptomatic.
Yeah.
How many people have we heard about recently that they have it, but they're totally non-symptomatic, but they get tested all the time, so they tested positive.
Right.
They're like, I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I know someone who tested positive the other day. She didn't feel good for day and a half, and was fine. And then a few days later tested, and she was clean. So, yeah.
Right.
So I just didn't feel good that day. And,
right.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's not killing people like it was at the beginning anymore.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
Yeah, I have days that I don't feel good, regardless.
Oh, geez.
You do too.
Me, it's like every other day, half the time.
You can
So
ride that
annoying.
train anytime you want. Yep.
Oh my goodness. It's like, do you have any of these symptoms? I'm like, I feel those symptoms all the time of my life. So
Yeah.
are they different though? No.
Right. But it's, you know, I think for needlework stores, I think that the hobby has generated such an interest and momentum and brought in so many new people that I think the business aspect of it is going to be very strong for a good long time. And,
yeah, I hope so.
So then, you know, what can shops do to set themselves apart in the market, to service people that are not within an hour's driving distance?
Right. Or they had to go back to work. They just don't have the same time.
Yeah.
So they don't have the time to maybe take out to drive that they had before because they had nothing else to do.
Right. Exactly. That's a good.
But they still have downtime at night to stitch, but they can't go shopping at night because the stores are closed.
Yeah, that old catch-22. Yeah. I have time, but the shop's closed. I don't have time. The shop's open. What am I going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But now you just made me think of something else. Going back to work. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that are not going back to work. That are the businesses are saying, stay home, keep working from home.
Right, work from home.
Well, now we all know that there's opportunity there to continue stitching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm gonna take. I got a half-hour break here, or I got a lunch hour, and I'm gonna take my time. Well, you're not at an office. You're not eating at your desk. Your stitching is right there in your house, so you go do it.
Yeah.
So I think that
have more opportunity to stitch while you're working.
Yes.
While you're on a meeting, because it helps you focus more. I'm stitching right now. It helps me focus more and stay,
Yep.
Stay on topic.
Wouldn't you like to see behind the camera in a company Zoom meeting? Wouldn't you like to see what goes on behind each of those headshots?
It's like who's knitting, who's crocheting, who's stitching, other stuff we don't want to know about.
Yep. Artist drawing. Oh, yeah. How much creativity behind the Zoom meeting? Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I bet that. I bet that's something.
Worked when I was in the Netherlands. I briefly had a job, and it was a phone job with Thomson Prometric. They do the TOEFL test of English as a foreign language. That foreign students have to take before they can go to an American university, and other reasons too, but that's one of the big ones. And so it was a phone job, but I was good at it, but I didn't like it. Yeah. So it started making me anxious and stuff, and to get through it, I started bringing these little tiny cross-stitch kits that my neighbor gave to me. It's this English lady gave me these little DMC flower kits that she had gotten, and she just gave them to me. And so it was a little tiny kit. It's those little flowers that I crossed, the ones I was turning into the biscornu.
Oh, yeah.
Those little kits. So I would take them to work, and during some of the parts of the phone call or between calls, sometimes there'd be 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes, I would sit and do my cross stitch at my desk.
Yeah.
While I was working. And since, my productivity wasn't jeopardized, they didn't care.
Right.
But I took my stitching to work.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got nothing else but phone answering, you might as well. Well, how many jobs are there like that? A bunch of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it was the downtime between calls that just really drove me crazy.
Sure.
And I've got fidgety hands anyway, anxious, I have the anxiety problem, so it just fed into it,
Right. Well, and that's the kind of thing too that employers need to open their minds a little bit too. Sitting there, straight backed and at attention when your job is answering phones that calls come in intermittently is kind of dumb. So you might, and plus it helps you pass the time instead of sitting there going, geez, I wish I wasn't here.
And it's not so mind-numbing as like playing solitaire or something. Those things are something that I did do also, but they do tend to numb your brain.
Yeah.
And kind of make you tired and a little bit more stupid. less present, less with it. You go into this fog, whereas with stitching, it keeps you active.
Right.
Your brain doesn't go into a fogged out state.
Right. Well, yeah. And these days with, I'm sure you had headsets then, but, answering phones hands-free or dealing with phones hands-free is pretty automatic. So,
we had headsets, and so no problem.
Yeah, but keep stitching. Yep.
Yeah, and then you just set the piece down, do your phone call business, and then it's just right. And it's simple, real simple stuff, nothing complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But the time's moving by, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you're not losing your mind sitting there going, gee, and that's the job where I did start. I didn't like it. I didn't want to go to work. I'd call in sick and stay home and work on crafts all day.
There you
go. I was bad girl.
We've got a guy at the local post office. It's a small one-person post office here locally.
Mm-hmm.
And he does that. He has a guitar. He's a guitar player.
Mm.
And I've not asked him about it. He's not the most outgoing, personable guy.
Okay.
He's a government employee. I do my job, and
right.
But he does that same thing. And I've walked in more than once and heard music, and then he's got a stand there. He puts it down, he takes care of the customer, and back to his guitar. Why not?
Nice.
Same kind of thing. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Because then you're not feeling like, ugh, I have to sit here all this time. I could be doing something else, which I'd rather be doing.
Right.
So then I'm just going to, if you can quit your job, which I could at the time, it wasn't like I had to work. So it made things better.
Yeah. But that's just it. You could have some income in a job that really didn't require your full attention and do needlework. Why not?
Yeah. Especially once you learn the job and it's just basically the same every time.
Routine drudgery, yeah.
Yeah.
But think of how many jobs there are that you can do that, and why not? Yeah, yeah. We all, I'm the worst here. I've got it sitting right here in the same room I work, and I still have not gotten that habit going of wheeling around the chair and throwing in a few stitches. I just
right. But your job requires like a lot of focus. You have to really focus on your job. You don't.
Right.
And it's hands-on and focused, and you're writing and reading, and you've got an intense job, I think.
Well, it is, but also it's a job that requires a break.
Right.
So if I've been editing, I do most of my editing in the morning because I'm fresher, more wide awake, and I just do a better job. And then I have other functions that I save for the afternoon. But if I'm doing a 4-hour, 5-hour editing session, then I completely need to get away from it. Yeah, you just need a complete break. Same thing when we're producing a magazine, and I'm sitting for hours proofing copy.
Right.
You just at some point get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
And,
so do you get into like the zone, when you're doing that? And then all of a sudden you wake up from the zone and it's 6 hours later and you're stumbling away half like, oh my God.
Fried. Yeah.
Yes. So I can see how stitching's not going to happen after that either.
No. Well, and that's the thing, they say every half hour or so you're supposed to get up from your computer screen. Well, I can't. I'd love to do that, but then, I'm in the middle of something and I lose my train of thought. And if I'm editing a full feature, it in my head is everything that's in that feature as I'm editing.
Right.
Because I go through and all right, that second paragraph I get later on. Oh, wait, this was said somewhere earlier. And, back in the second paragraph. So then that goes out. And then this was mentioned earlier, but it's not clear, and now it's even more confusing. So all that stuff goes through your head, And to get up and walk away from that in the middle of that process, no, then you lose everything. And
right, because it's like, isn't that similar with like artists and stuff who are really successful at what they do? They get in that zone. They call it the flow or something.
Right.
And they get in there, and it's like the super productive state that when you come out, you're totally disoriented. You're like, oh my gosh, but you did fantastic work in the zone.
Yeah.
So, and sure, what you do is an art in a way, because you're piecing things together to make a complete picture in words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure every needlework designer could describe more than once where they've been just like that.
Krista West, she talks about it. She gets in it.
Yeah.
I've been in it with like quilting. When I would lose but I would lose myself into quilting for hours. That's why I had to start setting alarms on my phone to feed the animals and stuff, because it'd be 3 hours past their dinner time. They're starving, and I'm like, huh? And then I get out of it, and I can barely function to feed myself, Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, no, we've all done it. You get a 2 or 3 hour uninterrupted, you're feeling good, you're alert, and you just start stitching, and 3 hours later you don't even realize it, and you look at what you did and it's like, wow. I was flying. Yeah. Doesn't happen very often for me, but no, there's it's a changing time. What was it? Apple, I guess it was. They're trying to make their people come back to work.
Oh.
And what that has done is put all their employees on the resume mill. They're all looking to get out. They don't want to go back to the office. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They want out. And then there was you can decide the work at home policy by department. Well, that just made it worse, because how come that department, they're all working at home and we don't get to? What's that deal?
Right. How are they different from us?
I'm out of here, and I work in computer. I do computer work. I can get a job anywhere. I'm gone. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
But this pandemic has changed. It changed the whole day-to-day routine dynamic, and and I think needlework is a beneficiary of it, without a doubt.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. People coming back to all kinds of crafting or just doing their own thing, and then realizing that it, is something else that's already existed, but they tweak it a little. Or
Yep. Anytime this comes up, I always remember the friend of mine who early in the pandemic, they bought a trampoline. He has two high school age daughters. They bought a trampoline, and he put up a picture on Instagram of the girls out on the trampoline, and his comment was, they found the end of the internet. We needed something else. And, and I think by now we've all found the end of the internet. And we need something else. That screen is not doing it anymore. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't need it.
Because they were doing their school on it too. So it was just too much.
Well, that's just it. Yeah. They found the end of the internet. We needed something else. So we bought a trampoline.
Wow.
Okay.
I think I remember hearing something even a year or two before the pandemic started about how kids were starting to leave their phones and find things to do with their hands, or, because they were starting to just it was getting overwhelming. They needed to get away because it was their entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how they had started searching that out before the pandemic even happened.
Mm-hmm. No?
Maybe was that Trisha Nguyen that told us that? Or did I hear that somewhere else?
I don't recall. Yeah, but
I
I believe it. I believe it. More and more. I think that's probably one of the benefits is, all right, we're over these phones. They're functional devices, but we got to do something else with our time. Yeah.
Yeah, I've taken away games and stuff. I have just Spider Solitaire that I do because I started getting anxious and having anxiety because I was spending too much time on my phone, but I couldn't stop myself.
No.
Is the problem. I could not make myself stop, and I had all this needlework and crocheting and other things I wanted to do, but it was like a drug almost.
Oh,
I could not, and then I quit cold turkey, and then my brain for like a week, it took it like a week to stop seeking that out. I had a real problem. So that's why a lot of times I'll be like the social media desert, like nothing will come out of me for a while because I'm just getting away from it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
I don't remember. I don't do games. I don't have games on any of my devices. I haven't done games in years.
mm-hmm.
And last week, a game popped up on Instagram, I think it was. It was, a promotional thing.
Right. Like, hey, do this.
And I was sitting there just in an idle moment, and I thought, hey, I wonder what that game's like.
Mm-hmm.
So I downloaded the game. I have no idea why, because normally I go find something productive to do. But I downloaded the game and played it for 15 minutes. And then there was this pause. What are you doing?
Yeah, then you kind of wake up like, why
what?
am I doing this?
So I just deleted it. Enough of that. Of course, and then it was the in-game purchases were starting to pop up.
Oh, right.
Wouldn't like to go to this level for 50 cents.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't. Delete.
Yeah.
I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was 15 minutes I should have been stitching right there. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, my cat passed away, so I had briefly gotten it. My brain, I needed to focus on something else, so I downloaded one of the word games, the ones where you find all the words out of a set of like 6 words.
Oh, yeah.
How many words?
Okay.
And it helped me get through that stage, but then it was like, okay, you're done now. I deleted it back off.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, it helped you through a hard time because I just needed to numb my brain.
Yep.
You know?
Well,
But then I have to know when to stop so that it doesn't go to the next level.
Yeah.
It's because when I go to the next level becomes the problem.
Yep. Yeah, you got
I learned that.
Got to put the wall up for yourself. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, time to stitch, because I couldn't even focus on stitching. It just it was not happening. I was a wreck.
Well, yeah, I mean, losing a pet is like losing a family member. It is losing a family member.
Well,
I mean, it hurts. Yeah.
I only have fur babies, so they are my children.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's all right. That's enough of that. Back to stitching. Back to
yes. And I can probably show it next week. Maybe it might even have to wait because people might watch the show that don't normally watch the show that this is for. But the stitching, I got this big stitching project done. That is for someone in my family.
Okay.
Secret stitching, but I got it done.
All right.
It's all done. I finished it just this morning, right before we got on the phone. So yeah, I got that done, and I finished it in like 5 or 6 weeks.
Wow.
So I've been stitching. It's just
you.
I haven't been showing it, and because I've been kind of in a mood, I haven't been putting anything on social media except for some of the stuff that you send,
Right.
But not much personal stitching or anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's I should put more of. Well, no, I shouldn't put more personal stuff up because I just don't want to share it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's up to you. You don't have. That's the thing with social. You share what you want to share. You don't have to. There's nobody out there says you have to share stuff at all.
No, I talk enough about my personal life on these shows. I don't need to share it anymore. And I'll share the needlework part, but the rest of it, nah.
Right.
Nah. No.
Yeah, most of mine's either what I'm making or the animals.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much it, and that's kind of pretty much all I have going on. I have a nice, quiet, boring life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just never. Some people that's their thing, and it's what I'm having for dinner and what color we painted the walls, and I just no.
Yeah.
No one's interested. Number one, and I'm not interested in sharing it. So.
Yeah, I'll just direct text that to my mom. The whole world doesn't need to see.
Yeah, she cares.
Right, exactly.
Right. So yeah, no, I never have. I don't know that I've ever. It's pretty rare that I put anything up that's personal. Pretty rare. Yeah.
Yeah, you just occasionally have something, but it's usually your bike riding. Look on the road and the fun pictures we get to see.
Yeah.
Of the the terrain you're riding through, whether it's live or fake, or live but on a screen.
Right, right. Now we getting some trips planned up, some overnight trips for the bike riding planned up for this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Just need weather that you can actually be outdoors in. So yeah,
it's coming.
It better.
It's still spring.
I know, but
doesn't it feel like I had the feeling that spring was a lot further along than what it is in reality?
Yes.
In my mind, spring was further along.
Yes.
Than what it really is outside.
Yep.
I think it's because I decorated for spring with all of my stuff, and I put up my cute bunnies and my flowers.
And you didn't tell spring.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. I think we're going to call it right here.
Okay.
That's going to be it. Spring is coming. We'll leave it at spring is coming. That's an upbeat thought.
Spring is coming. Yep. Yes.
Kathy Ray tonight. Thread Talk with Kathy Ray. Sunday, Merrilyn, Heazlewood. Go sign up for the Broadway Bound 2022 EGA National Seminar, egausa.org. And other than that, use your free time to stitch, I think, is
exactly.
That's our message.
Put down your phone, delete the games, do productive, fun stitching. It'll make you feel better.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks. Bye.